Thank you for joining us in this virtual Back to School Night presentation to senior parents. I'm Mr. Winsek, Director of School Counseling, and I'll be presenting with another school counselor, Natalie Rubino, who has a wealth of college knowledge to share with you all. Traditionally, this is my favorite night to present to parents because I've seen all your students mature and grow so much since those worried eyes were looking back at me as I presented to them, and all of you, at 8th grade family night a short 4 years ago. When it comes to college applications, I'm sure there are still some worried eyes out there looking at this screen right now. Although this isn't the start of the school year anyone envisioned, we are still going to do our very best to reassure you that the college process will all work out. We promise. For about the last 6 months, the school counseling department has learned to develop patience, let go of some control, stay flexible, and adopt the mantra, as of today. We just ask in return that you please be patient with us. We'd much rather be meeting with you all, and of course, our seniors, in person, without a doubt. Instead, we are learning to fine-tune our YouTube skills to support our senior families in every way possible. On September 1st, we released our senior college application video series through Schoology and email. First and foremost is the required senior convo video. This includes a broad overview of the entire college application process. Many students will watch this 29-minute video and say, "I've got this." Others will be more like, "Okay, now what?" That's all right. We're here to meet the seniors where they are currently and support them along the way. Within the Senior Convo video, we've included a QR code for students to take a survey to see who's watched the video and, more importantly, to see how far each senior is in the application process and what they need help on. Although the Senior Convo video has enough information to begin the college application process, it is in no way meant to replace seniors meeting with their school counselor for support as needed. We all have office hours in the afternoon from 1 to 2:30, and students can reach out to us at any time to book an appointment, either within those office hours or during lunch or study hall earlier in the day if more convenient. Remember that senior college application video series I mentioned on YouTube? Well, within the same playlist as the Senior Convo video, seniors may also find 6 additional instructional videos to view as needed. Within these videos, they'll find Connecting with Colleges, which explains how to navigate a college website and communicate with colleges, Naviance and Common App that gives seniors details on how to create a Common App account and match it to their Naviance account, Teacher Letters of Recommendation, which gives guidance on how to communicate with teacher recommenders and the process to send their letters of recommendation, Requesting Official Transcripts. Please note, this is a new process this year as seniors will be requesting transcripts through Naviance. College admissions testing. We understand this topic is ever changing, but this video will give you the most current and relevant testing information, including the major testing trends as of today. And the final video, Ready to Hit Submit, a final checklist, reviews all the final components that make an application complete, including a college application checklist. So it's college application season, and it's about to get really busy for everyone involved. These are some general stats for the class of 2020, and as you can see, we successfully guided last year's graduates in submitting over 3,000 applications and sending hundreds of letters of recommendation. Another stat we found interesting is that out of all our 2020 graduates attending a 4-year college this year, only 32% chose to stay in Illinois, while 68% decided to attend college out of state. While initially we did anticipate an increase in the number of students attending COD in order to stay local through a pandemic, we were surprised to find the numbers of COD attendees actually declined a bit. Annually, these are some of our top attended colleges by Glenbard West graduates. Although the numbers fluctuate year to year, we do see consistent trends in most of these colleges. For example, with the class of 2020, we saw an increase in the number of students attending University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and Indiana University, but we found a decline in the number of students attending Iowa and University of Illinois Chicago. Here at Glenbard West, we're very fortunate to have some extremely successful, high-achieving students. As a result, every year we get a couple handfuls of graduates that end up attending highly selective schools, which is amazing. It is important to note that this trend is the exception to the rule nationally. Please keep in mind that 4% of all colleges out there are what we call highly selective, meaning they have less than a 20% admit rate. This is an extremely small number of schools that get a lot of attention. The most competitive colleges out there enroll only 3% of all students, so it's important to note that 97% of students nationally aren't going to these highly selective schools. While we aren't discouraging any senior to apply to a selective school if they fit the student's academic profile, we do strongly advise every student have a wide range of schools in their college application portfolio. You can find more on safety, match, and reach schools in the Senior Convo video.
In this next section, we are going to review some important things to know about Naviance. At West, we use Naviance to manage students' college applications and send college materials such as official transcripts, school report forms, and letters of recommendation. At this time, students should be adding schools to their colleges I'm applying to list, indicate which application they are using, and select their deadlines. Students will use Naviance to request teacher letters of recommendation and request their official transcripts to be sent to the colleges. We strongly advise that students watch the Naviance and Common App video in our Senior College Application video series in order to learn how to match their Common App and Naviance accounts. Teachers and counselors cannot send materials to the colleges until the student has completed the FERPA Release Authorization Waiver on Common App and matched it with their Naviance account. We also suggest that students update their resume and their counselor recommendation form, which they should have started in the spring. Additionally, we encourage parents and guardians to complete the parent input form located in the survey section of Naviance, which can only be accessed through the student login. Parent feedback is tremendously helpful to the counselor letter because oftentimes parents present a perspective on the student's high school experience that counselors don't always see. This is your opportunity not only to brag about your outstanding kid, but to maybe to share some insight that could help round out your student's college application. Lastly, we are working on setting up virtual college rep visits for Glenbard students. New colleges are being added daily. Be sure to have your student check out the full list of college rep visits just for Glenbard students in the college's home screen in Naviance. As a reminder, we mentioned this in the Senior Convo video as well, but this year's senior class has 2 additional graduation requirements. Students must complete the FAFSA alternative application or sign a waiver. More information will be available soon regarding the waiver if your family is choosing to opt out of completing the FAFSA. The FAFSA and the alternative application for eligible students is available on October 1st. We will have several workshops and resources to help students and families complete the FAFSA or the alternative application. Look out for more information about this in coming weeks. As of today, September 3rd, the in-person school day SAT test is still taking place on Wednesday, September 23rd. Seniors are required to take this test for graduation. Students do not need to register in advance. We will register students on the day of the test. Whether a student needs a test score for college or is choosing test optional for their applications, the school day test will allow every student to have a score available. Information about the school day test and test prep was emailed to families on September 1st from Dr. Rebecca Salaver, our Assistant Principal for Instruction. As you probably are aware, there have been many changes to this year's admissions process for students, including most schools moving to test optional admissions. For more information about the different testing policies like test optional, test blind, and test flexible, please watch the college admissions testing video in our senior college application video series. We did not mention this in the Senior Convo video, but we have received several questions about the test optional question on the actual college application. Test scores are not printed on the high school transcript. Scores are only sent to the colleges if the student elects to have the score sent through College Board either when they register for a test or after they've received their scores, they can send them to the colleges for a fee. Here's the important part. Whether the college has a score on file or not, A test score will only be considered in the admissions process based on the student's response in the application itself. Students will be required to answer a test optional question on the application. They will either select, yes, I want my standardized test score considered for admission, or no, I do not want my standardized test scores considered for admission. The student's response to this question is how a college will know whether they are choosing test optional or not. Once the application is submitted, a student cannot change their response to this question. This means if a student chooses not to have a test score considered for admission, but takes a test, does well, and wants their score to be considered, they will not be able to go back and change their response. When a student commits to test optional and submits their application, it cannot be changed, and vice versa. If you have any questions about this, please contact your student's counselor. All of our resources are housed on the Glenbard West School Counseling Schoology page. We encourage you and your student to sign up to follow us. We will continue to share the most up-to-date information on the college application process, financial aid, scholarships, etc. on our Schoology page. Everything we reference in our presentations, both from tonight and the senior convo video, can be found here in the resources folder. We understand that this has been a stressful and an unprecedented start to your students' final year of high school. We recognize that there have been constant changes in these uncertain times, and with that may be accompanied by waves of emotions in your household. We acknowledge that your student may not have their typical outlet to decompress, whether it be through a sport or a youth group or a social activity that they're used to participating in. With that, we have a few pieces of advice for parents to help them navigate the college application process with their student. As your student begins the added work of completing college applications, in addition to this unique start to the school year, remember to be mindful of your student's stress level and yours. Allow your student to take charge of the process. Let them email their counselor and contact the college admissions offices. Give them space to work on their application, but maybe designate a time each week to do a check-in. With college recruitment events going virtual this fall, be sure to connect with colleges and take advantage of their virtual admissions events with your student. We recommend that students watch the Connecting with Colleges video on our senior college application video series. We even demonstrate how to write a professional email. With all that is going on lately, your student may feel less motivated, so be sure to encourage and not to push. There are a lot of uncertainties with COVID and college admissions and what campuses might look like in the future. Talk to your student and discuss all options. Make sure it's a school that fits your child versus your child trying to fit the school. Balance emotional with logical choices. We are here to support your student as much as they need us. It's probably not going to go perfectly smooth, but it's a process, and it will all work out. As Jeremiah mentioned in the beginning of this video, the counselors have been working hard to convert our curriculum to a video format, and we've been attending many professional development webinars to stay up to date on the ever-changing college admissions policies. We are passionate about helping students, and we want to make sure they have all the tools at their fingertips in order to feel empowered by this process. Despite all the nuances of filling out applications and the dreaded wait for an admissions decision, take some time to acknowledge that this is an exciting time in your child's life. They are choosing their path for the next 4 years. We are with you in this, and we are here to support your student. Counselors have office hours from 1 to 2:30 daily. We can also make appointments with students during their lunch or study hall periods. Encourage your child to reach out if they need assistance. We are here to help. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video.